must pick the mode. It's going to end up being a combination of things. We have a model today. We can't expand it at the cost that it would take today in all the places that we'd like to send it. Light rail may be an option. It's funding. And I was interested the other day, I was at a meeting with Dr. Beverly Scott, who was talking about how the system's developing, some of the barriers. And she talked a lot about, and everybody talks always about rail, and she talks a lot about buses. She talked about buses because when you come to mass transit systems, we're still moving more people by buses than we are by rapid transit. And the funding scheme would be difficult to implement that would enable us to build a modern system that would accommodate this area. So I see the barrier being funded.
I see the barrier as political will. We have a love affair with our cars. We do not believe in public transit as a community. Now, I personally believe in public transit, but when you look at the lack of coordination between Atlanta, the state, and our sister jurisdictions, it's very clear we don't believe in public transit. Especially our folks at the state level, when you look at the funding and how the MARTA Authorization Act needs to be rewritten, this whole notion that you have an operational fund and a capital fund and they have to come to the state to ask permission, that's just wrong. So I would tell you that political will, and that means not only the funding, but people's ability and desire to work together as a region, is the primary problem in the state of Georgia.
I think it's a combination. It's our built environment right now. When Beverly Scott first came to Atlanta, I actually took her on a tour of city limits to city limits. And she took copious notes and she said, Mary, you've got plenty of density in this town. You know, people think there is no density. We're not a dense region, but we're a pretty dense city for the most part. She said, but you've got challenging topography and you've got narrow streets that I can't get my buses up and down. So she really understands that she's in the transportation business, not the bus business. So I think we've got to free up that creativity to figure out what kind of an interconnected system do we have and how does that service. And it's not always the great big buses.